So, good evening, everybody. Today we have a special guest with us. He is also having the same route that I come from. We both are Zavarians. And today I would like to introduce him. Before I introduce him, I like to take from the quote of Mahatma Gandhi because today it's his death anniversary also. So he says that first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. तो पहल नहीं हो जो तो लोग इग्नोर करेंगे, उड़ाएंगे खिल्ली और फिर शोर करेंगे, फिर भी डटे रहे तो दंगल और होगा युद्ध, उस उत्कर्ष पर जश्न जीत की खुशी मिलेगी शुद्ध। तो आज हमारे साथ हैं कुणाल किशोर सिन्हा। ही इज अ को फाउंडर ऑफ वैल्यू 360 कम्युनिकेशंस और इनसे बात करेंगे हम इंटरप्रेन्योरल माइंडसेट पे, स्टार्टिंग अ वर्ल्ड क्लास कंपनी फ्रॉम स्क्रैच। ये हम विद इन द टॉपिक ही इसको डिस्कस करेंगे एंड व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड बॉटलनेक्स व्हेन वी go for an entrepreneurial pursuits. There are many failures. We just only see the success, but there are many stories lingering. So we'll hear from Kunal and his experience. So before I invite him, I would like to read something from my poetic notebook that जीवन के समीकरण और सिद्धांत को समझें, समझिए कि ख्याति और पैसा नहीं आनंद की सीढ़ी, जो इसमें हो तनिक भी सत्य तो प्रमाण दीजिए, क्यों अवसाद से घिरी है आज की पीढ़ी। शहर का एक ही मकसद कि ऊंचा रू होते रहे कद, इस क्रम में पेड़ तार का बनने की रेस है, जो बरगद की भांति हो जुड़ा अपने ही जड़ों से, यकीन मानिए वही व्यक्ति विशेष है। तो ऐसे ही एक व्यक्ति विशेष कुणाल जो हमारे साथ है, फाउंडर 360 कम्युनिकेशन, वैल्यू 360 कम्युनिकेशन। तो यहाँ पे मैं अपना शेयरिंग स्टॉप करूंगा एंड इनवाइट करूंगा कुणाल को टू शेयर हिज एक्सपीरियंस। कुणाल।
Yes, yes. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Uh, I'm very excited to be with Ranjit and share my experience through the journey of my entrepreneurship. Uh, I started my entire academic career from Hazaribagh, from a school called Xavier's, where Ranjit was my senior. And I believe that the foundation of what I am today, or whatever small achievement that I might have been able to achieve, it's largely to do with the foundation that I have been able to get from my academic experience and academic studies that I did in Xavier's. To begin with, I'll like to start with our sharing my slide to help you with the structuring of the presentation. So actually, any story, the beginning is very important, because when you actually begin to actually start to, and your beginning starts from the time when you actually start to come close to your 10th class and 12th class, when your studies is no more about going to school. Your study is also about what you're able to achieve in your life. You are reaching close to your boards, how you're going to score, how you're going to study and create opportunity for you going ahead is what is going to define your career ahead. So like any uh, any kid coming from a eastern part of the country, from a middle class humble background, the journey started with the dream of being into IIT. And while from Xavier's, I went to study in a school called DPS Mathura Road, with the dream of becoming an engineer. um, Lift I carried that dream even after my 12th class, and actually did take a break because people did advise me that sometimes during your academic year, it is very difficult to prepare for IIT. So it is never too bad to take a gap of 1 year or 2 year, because in long term that 1 or 2 year would not matter. And that's what I did when I started to prepare for IIT, did everything that is required and that was right in the process of joining a right coaching institute, studying, being with people who are driven to become an engineer. Uh, but somewhere in that process, I was, and I would like to admit that somewhere in that process, I was lying to myself. And when I say I was lying to myself, I I should have understood that what is required to actually get into an engineering school like IIT. I was not committing that kind of an effort during my 2 years while I had joined a career, joined a coaching institute. My time that I was actually spending in terms of preparing for the engineering was not enough. And there was a day when actually I spoke to my father, and I told him that, Father, I can lie to you, but I can't lie to myself. I know it is not there in me that I could get into IIT. However, I have recently heard about something which is a very interesting career opportunity that is coming uh, um, our way, and that opportunity is in the mass communication. And if you would allow me to take this decision, I would like to pursue a bachelor degree in mass communication. I have already applied for a form. This is not a technical study. This is very similar to commerce or arts. My father, while he was he wanted me to be in engineering college, he was very progressive in his thought. He always believed that you actually have to give the kid freedom to actually make a choice of his career. And while he did the assessment by talking to people around, understanding what is the career scope in mass communication, and I'm talking about early days of 98, 1999, when you didn't had so many opportunities within the mass communication also. But he did take a leap of faith with me, and he said that let's go ahead and actually try and see what opportunity you could find in the mass communication. And I think that is that one decision of mine, I would say, and my father's support, I would say, changed the uh, entire journey for me. That was very critical, because I could have actually I could have uh, tried doing engineering, could have gone become an engineer, and uh, with the commitment that I was giving in, I knew that there is some mismatch that is there. So I would I would definitely say that that would be my turn towards the journey that I have today, that I've been because I always, from the college school days, I was into performing arts. Um, I liked being part of something which is part of a creation of a story, which is part of a creation of news. So uh, I completed my mass communication, and I straight away went into um, starting my career in a small, very small boutique PR firm. And while I started my career there, actually, what was very critical for me to actually assess and analyze is that, do I need to actually work with someone, or do I put my effort? So within 3 months to 4 months into the my professional journey, I I started realizing that there is a certain knack that I have about understanding in terms of how to work in terms of strategy for clients. And when I started to see that difference, I got three of my college friends, and I told them that I want to start my own firm. A lot of them were surprised to even think of uh, someone coming from from a place in Hazaribagh and trying to actually do something in Delhi without any relationships, without any network. How would anybody survive? But thankfully, we were able to take that leap of faith once again, and four friends, we started together and we started the journey. And when we started the journey, we had many detractors, because even many of my relatives and family, they said that while Kunal has gone for a small money right now, he should have gone for academic uh, education. He should have gone for MBA, and he should have taken up MBA so that there was a stable job that one can look at. And while this was happening, to be honest, I was preparing for CAT, and I was always like we all follow that you do your college, you do your either a professional degree, and then you do a management course, and then you take a job, and that gives you stability, and that is the set norm that we follow. So while I was preparing for CAT, I was taking my journey small steps towards my entrepreneurship. And uh, I still remember that my first job, that interview that I gave, um, an agency which is of repute, national agency, had actually advised me to not even pursue the career of PR, because the HR head, she said that you are not so much media aware right now. And as a kid, when you are actually in a college, you are largely, you know things as per the book and what you studied. And that was the first negative feedback that I had got in my professional journey. But having said that, I didn't lose my hope, and I pursue my career in the small agency, and then I started on my own. And then there was a further negative comment around the fact that how I have actually taken up small money over education. I should have spent 2 years of management education so that I could get into a stable job of a banking or any multinational corporate uh, company. But I fortunately, unfortunately, I'll say fortunately, that I was unable to even crack management institute during my preparation. So management institute of my choice. I was at one point of time I had qualified for a school called KJ Somaya, but when I started to research about their placement and otherwise, I realized that I would rather try and actually work where I'm working right now, which is on for my own self. And I continued working there, and the journey started to continue. Thankfully, I think I was lucky with the kind of people who partnered with me, which is my current co-founder, Gaurav and Manisha. Because I think in the journey, what is very, very critical is that if you get a good co-pilot or co-passengers, your journey can be smooth. If it is a troubling one, your journey can be very, very troubling. So got some very smooth co-passengers who actually not only help the journey to be smooth, but also help the journey to take forward. And while the co-passengers were important, we got some great team beginning with. And it's very, very interesting that when we were hiring, because we were a new firm in the market with a very, very small team, we were unable to attract good talent. So we were attracting talent which were rejected by most of the agencies. So one of our very key resources today at a very senior management level, he was rejected by 13 agencies in the industry. And we actually accepted his application only because of his commitment that and in our industry, language skills was very, very important. But and when he interviewed with us, we realized that there is a certain amount of language capability that needs to be improved for the person. And while we understood some shortcomings of this candidate, what actually attracted us was he's eager to join the industry, his eagerness to actually get a job. And that was something that actually, for me, I thought hunger can actually drive passion for people. And that hunger was there in that person's mind. And we started to we started with him, and there was slowly started to build the team around us. And thankfully, we've been able to uh, we were able to build a pool of resources who are actually passionate, driven. Somewhere I think, and I don't know how to put it, but I think sometime things, time and people, everything fall in place for you to actually succeed. And that was the case where, while our intent, effort, hard work was always there, but I think we were also lucky to actually find right pool of talent who actually joined us. And while we started building our organization, there is always a time when you, in your journey, you feel that you're doing right, you want to try to actually expand into something new as well, and people want to diversify. So in we started our journey, and around 2010-11 we actually were fairly doing well. We had good clients, we had good team size, we were present in 4 cities, and we started to handle some great brands. But while we were doing that, we there was a zeal to actually start and do something more. And it we started something which was a online content platform called Transporters. And we actually were very, very bullish about that initiatives. And we actually started to build that platform in a big way. And we invested right resources, right set of people. And even there in that venture, we were blessed with very, very young, good kids who were actually dedicated, committed. But somewhere, I think, like I said, that sometime you're too early in the market, and you might be doing the right thing, but the timing might not be right for your venture at that point of time. So we were doing right thing, but we realized that after burning hard cash for 4 years, we had to actually take a hard decision of stopping that venture. So what what was one of the most important thing, as a learning that I got during that period of time, is that you have to actually start keep adapting to the changing changes that are happening around you. You have to actually start to respond to the situation as it comes across. You cannot pre-plan your things around you and try and stick to a path without realizing that there has to be some iteration that you need to bring in during your journey. So while this was not working out, we realized, and we actually did take a decision of stopping it. And today, fortunately, we are second largest Indian known PR firm. We have, in last uh, 14 years, we have actually built many brands that has become a household name today from scratch. So the brands like Snapdeal, Paytm, Zomato, Zoomcar, Urban Company. So in last decade, if you would have seen, there was a splurge of new brands that came into India market. And these were all startups which actually started off new businesses. And we actually helped many of these brands to actually scale from the ground up. And what we are very, very proud of is that our work has is not just about supporting some of the existing brands, but also building some of the brands from ground up. Um, while we were building all this, we also realized in the journey that what is very very critical is that what you're doing or what you're working on, it you need to actually take your work out. You need to let the world know about your work. And I would believe Manisha was very, very critical. She's my partner and my wife too. She was very, very critical in terms of pushing me to bring the work out of the company by actually looking at opportunities in the industry forum to highlight our work. And slowly we started to nominate our work in important industry forums. And we realized that some of the work that we are doing are very, very good, but we are unable to actually make a mark at the jury level where the jury is actually selecting the best work from the industry. And that is the time one of our professional friends advised us that we should actually work on investing for a training to understand that how do you present your work ahead to juries. And while this advice we took very seriously, and we actually got a trainer to come and train us. And from that day till now, I think we're one of the largest, we're one of the most awarded agency in the country for the work that we've done. And the award is not just limited to India, but we've actually been recognized globally. So we just last year we were recognized as the top 5 PR firm for technology clients. So that is it's a huge thing for someone starting out their journey from a small town in Hazaribagh to be uh, to be recognized on a global platform. And I think where the journey started, where I was told that I should not pursue the career of PR, to a place where we were recognized as the top 5 firms in the world for technology. That journey had many ups and downs, and I told you one failure that we had, but there were many failures in the process. The failures were around sometimes wrong hiring of people. There were failures sometimes on investing in wrong markets. Sometimes the failure was hiring senior resources when you were never required a senior resources. So basically, you had many failures in the journey. And with all those failures, what was very, very critical is that what you learn out of it. And I go as in I always I have as in I many a times what has happened is in my journey of general, not professional, but in life, I've met people and people, especially from my family side, they've said that they were supposed to try this and somebody tried this and they are here. And today, if they would have tried this, they could have been at that place. So what I strongly feel is that it is better tomorrow that I'll tell my daughter and my son that I tried this and I failed in it, but I did try, rather than telling them that I wanted to do this. And if I would have done this, I would have achieved this. So rather than saying that I wanted to do this, I would rather like to say that I've done this. I either failed or succeeded. It was part of my destiny, but I did try what I wanted to do. So
Nice.
that's a very important learning for me during the journey, that if you want to try, let's try it. Let's see how it goes, and you be quick. Don't try and actually be egoistic about it, that if it is not working, you put everything around it to make it successful. Let it go when it is required to let go. And the second thing is, like, Transporter was a case where we were unable to build that platform. Today, if we look back, Transporter as a platform on YouTube has 22,000 subscriber base. To achieve 1,000 subscriber base takes a lot. The team had achieved a 22,000 subscriber base. There was a great content, there was a great number of viewership that we were getting, but somewhere we were too early in the market. Now today, the same kind of content the bloggers and influencers are creating, and they are actually able to monetize it in a very effective way. So our learning there was that if you are too early, or if your venture, you there were two learnings that I got. One is that if you are spread out too thin between multiple things, you might not be able to do justice to everything. So you first have to stabilize, bring in a practice and systems and process which can run one at least one entity effectively, so that you can start to focus on the next entity. And we did learn from it, and today I think we are actually working on something which is the communication for tomorrow, which is, so what I'm always worried about is that you can't be living on your success of yesterday or success of today. What is successful today might not be relevant tomorrow. And BlackBerry, Nokia, we have many examples in the market who were like leader in the category, but unable to create right innovation to be relevant for tomorrow. So with our learning, like I said, we've just actually launched our new venture called Clan Connect, which is an influencer marketing platform, which is the future of communication. And we are also investing a lot on the tech side in the communication of it, which we're going to roll out uh, in this year and next year in the communication side. Now, what is the need for it is goes with this particular statement that what is successful today might not be tomorrow. So you need to actually start to see how the world is changing around you. You need to start evolving yourself. You can't be sitting on a service or a product which is working today, because things are changing around you. Technology is not letting you live the same life that you were living 10 years back, or 20 years back. You today are flooded with content around you, and you are, while at one point of time we had one television in a colony, and then it from one television in one colony to one television every home, to every home having multiple devices with multiple screen. Things are changing around us so quickly that we have to start to evolve ourselves. And that is another learning in my entire journey, was that you have to always be on your toe to actually be relevant for uh, taking your business forward. So starting journey, if I look at, there'll be too many detractors that you would have. uh, your journey you will understand. Don't let their feedback uh, uh, distract you or discourage you. Then you would make mistakes during your journey. uh, you should learn from the mistake. You should not get disappointed. You should not get discouraged for committing another mistake. And third is that when you are successful, be very very scared about your success, because if you're not scared, um, you're not, as in, you're taking it for granted. You thinking that it is here and it's here to stay. We've seen many businesses who actually have gone through a situation where they were like leading up on the roost, and suddenly things have changed around them, and they become totally non-entity in that category itself. I've taken the name of the brands here. So that's my this thing. I would love to have an open conversation with you now.
Uh,
And
Thank you, Kunal. Actually, it was a well-crafted journey that you presented today. And first of all, as you said, that we all owe what we are to the JVF, and I strongly believe in that our schooling is a driving force in
yeah,
whatever career pursuit we have chosen in our life. I like that the fact that you initially went with uh, the herd mentality. I would say that everybody says that you need to go for engineering or medical, do something at that point. But I also like the fact that you realized very early that you are lying to yourself and the commitment that you had, and with your family support, you chose something you were passionate for. And here the family comes. So then, as you started your professional journey, it was very early that you realized that you need to have something of your own, thanks to maybe the people whom you were associated with or your close friends with whom you started the company. Also, I see a ray of hope that we always think that getting into the best of the schools and best of the colleges is the only way to have a holistic, enriched life. But I think you are the best example where you have uh, chosen the path that you wanted to take. And uh, then I also like that uh, the way you have like you have valued people, though like you, like most of your talk was centered about, on one thing that I felt was very relevant, that what kind of people you associate with and what kind of people you hire. And
Yeah.
in that hiring and in this setting up of enterprise, so if we say entrepreneurial, the spelling itself is so difficult to pronounce. I don't know how difficult it would be to run a firm. So uh, it's either way. I would say that whether passion drives the hunger or hunger drives the passion, they goes side by side.
Yeah.
And yes, you were, I think you were lucky in the way uh, that everything fall in place
Yeah.
when you desire the right thing. And it happens for most of us that if we are on the line and we are striving enough, there are ways through which helps comes from all sides. Also, uh, it's always good to work with best brands and give them laurels and uh, like इट्स लाइक आप 19 को 20 कर रहे हैं तो वो अलग चीज़ है, लेकिन जो स्टार्टअप्स हैं उनके लिए भी आपने काम किया और ये एक सराहनीय चीज़ है कि आप वैसे वैसे नए फर्म्स और नए एंटरप्राइज के साथ काम किए या नए स्टार्टअप्स के साथ काम किए और उनको भी मतलब फ्रॉम बॉटम टू जेनिथ तक ले जाने का काम किया। तो ये भी अपने आप में एक ये है कि ये सराहनीय कार्य रहा आपका। साथ ही साथ जो है कि अ, जो आप काम कर रहे हैं उसकी विजिबिलिटी पे आपने मतलब जैसे आपने कहा कि एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम में हमें लगने लगा कि भाई अब हमें नॉमिनेट करना चाहिए जो बेस्ट पीआर फर्म्स हैं, वो लोग हम कहाँ स्टैंड करते हैं। और धीरे धीरे जो आपका मतलब ये जो फीडबैक है, ये फीडबैक पे वर्क करने का जो है पॉजिटिवली, मतलब पॉजिटिव लूप टू द फीडबैक, यू गॉट अ फीडबैक दैट ओके आपको उसके लिए बेटर ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, उस पर आपने काम किया और आपने वो कर दिखाया कि भाई you are today like one of the top most PR firm। लेकिन एज अ पीयर फर्म आप लोग करते क्या है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए मुझे कि क्या करते हैं एक्चुअली, आपके वर्क में क्या इन्वॉल्व होता है।
So uh, it is very, very difficult today for a person who has no understanding of PR to understand PR, but I'll try and explain it for anybody who's doing this
यस।
broadcast. Public relation department is a department in any organization which actually handles the stakeholder engagement. So when I say stakeholder engagement, imagine CEOs need to actually talk to their investors or retail investors to help them understand where the company is going. Now, the CEO can individually not talk to the investors who've taken stock from the stock market, but then the CEO want to actually address them. So how do they do that? They do that through a CEO's interview in, say, a newspaper like Economic Times.
यस।
Now, it doesn't happen that Economic Times reach out to a CEO on their own. What happens is a PR agency or a PR department enables that connect between the brand and the journalist, so that the journalist could possibly take a CEO's interview. I've just given you one example.
Yeah.
Similarly, if you digitally want to actually communicate, so you have your own digital handles, like you have social media handles,
Mhm.
you have company blogs, you have media outlets, you have what you are doing as part of this thing, you organizing podcast and webinars. All these are ways and means to actually reach out to a target audience. And we actually help these companies to reach out to their target audience by not a bought media. So what advertising does is advertising can buy a space in Economic Times and do a advertisement, and they can publish whatever they want. But in PR, would largely you get a third party to actually talk about the company. So your third party would be journalist doing an interview with the CEO, or journalist writing an article about a company, or influencer talking about a product
Okay.
of a brand. So basically, we help these guys to actually create earned media, and we call it earned media because you earn these media on the merit of the business that you are into.
Mm.
So, in the layman term, if I'll explain, and I love this example because somebody had told me this example, that if you are in a party and a girl walks in, and you walk to that girl and say that I'm the most flamboyant boy in this thing. I'm 6 feet tall. I am a great dancer. I have a big bank balance, and I want to go out with you. Then you are a example of advertising. However, if that girl walks in and you're sitting with a friend and you tell your friend that I like this girl, I want to approach her, and your friend goes to that girl and says that my friend here, sitting here, he is a PhD graduate. He he's one of the well-respected guy. What he is doing is PR, which is a third-party advocacy where he's talking on behalf of you and not advertising, because advertising is self-claim. PR
Mhm.
is third-party advocacy. Third
Okay.
party talks about you.
But in this building a PR or for a like as a third party, have you ever realized or have you ever, like it's all about perception, right? How so can it be that the product is not good and there is excessive PR done behind the product or the idea? Then what happened? Is it a disaster or what is the way out?
See, actually, I we always tell that honesty plays and goes long way
Yeah.
for any brand, and how honest you are to the communication that you're doing
Mm-hmm.
will go a long way. So if you are a brand which is largely into a brand which is not green. So say for example, if a brand that is largely adding um, to the carbon footprint of the globe,
Yes.
suddenly he starts to talk about the green environment, people will not be able to take seriously about that from that
Mm-hmm.
point. So you need to be honest to what your uh, deliveries are. Product promise has to be very, very close to product delivery. You can't promise something
Mm-hmm.
and not deliver. So whenever you have a product promise which is over promise than the exact delivery, you would start to see that the brand would start to trickle down and fail, and that
Yes.
would happen very, very immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason in any communication, not just
Yes.
PR advertising, you should actually be very, very focused on what promise you are making to your consumer
Mm-hmm.
or any of your stakeholders.
Mm. I also like the fact that you said in the due course of your talk that you cannot think that success is perennial, so you need to innovate. And usually, like with the route that we go, and we are always told, be it any domain of your work, that think out of the box or think laterally. Don't think. in the same domain or something. So how
Yeah.
would you say, like, it's something which is not really your domain, but I'm putting this question that throughout our procedure of learning, it has been that our instinctive innovative side is little bit laid behind. We go by the mm, common mentality.
Yeah.
So what techniques or what kind of say dynamics do you use within the team to inculcate this spirit of innovation?
Yeah. Ranjit, so actually I'll talk about our own journey within Value 360, where when we started off to focus on a category of startup. And uh, I think every management graduate and anybody in the business side of it would know the whole blue ocean strategy, where you actually focus on something which is unexplored and try and make the competition irrelevant. So when we started off, we had too many bigger PR firms to compete with. And if I would look at myself, I was 22, 23 at that point of time. It was very difficult to convince a CEO of a Google or a Microsoft to actually believe in a 22-year-old young boy to manage their communication, because communication is a very serious business to manage and PR is a very serious business to manage. So we realized it. We said that let's not actually try and be too optimistic about things. We should rather like pick up things which where we can convince them easily. We can drive that kind of value. That we started to focus on that.
Your voice is breaking a little bit. Yeah,
Is it audible
thank you.
now?
Yeah, yeah.
So, from an innovation point, what I wanted to drive here as a message is that innovation does not necessarily have to be a tech innovation. Innovation can be in form of approach that you take in terms of your business. What is the kind of strategy that you're driving for your business? So, very early, we actually focused on a category which was underserved, and I'll tell you how. Big brands never thought that startup can pay, and big agencies, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
multinational agencies, they never thought that startup can pay, and that was a big advantage for us, because what happened with that startup is a close knit community where if you are working with one startup and you've done good work, the founder happily recommends you to some other startup,
Yes. Mm.
which would not happen with a Microsoft or a Tata. If you're working on a Tata account, they will keep it in themselves. There is no case of recommendation that is
Mm.
happening. But in a startup, that continues to happen, and that create a ripple effect. And then you become one go-to person for many startups that are happening or that are getting built in the town. And that is what started to happen. And what happened is that today, while we have agencies which are doing multiple multi-billion dollar work, I think nobody can actually beat us when it comes to startup. Nobody understand this particular space as we do, because I think in 14 years, the kind of learning that we've got, and we've worked with some of the brilliant minds, as in the founders.
Mm-hmm.
We work closely. We got opportunity to work closely with them. So we saw the Indian disruptors who actually disrupted markets like Paytm. They
Mm.
disrupted the entire financial market. They
Yes.
made India pay through phone, where India was like a cash economy.
Mm.
Similarly, urban company today, we hire beauticians online. As in, who thought of hiring a beautician or any Zoom car, which is giving a self rental car,
Yeah.
which is actually introducing a subscription based model for car. So basically, all these companies actually innovated and disrupted the market, and we were in the thick of working closely with these founders. So
Mm.
imagine the kind of learning that we got during that particular process. So
Mm.
I strongly believe that innovation should not be misunderstood in form of technology.
Rightly
Innovation
said. Yes.
should be your approach of seeing things differently and looking at creating your own market, creating your own opportunities, creating your own set of audience and target clients.
Mhm.
Because if you're trying to fight, as in it is almost like that if you are a fisherman and you go and try and fish on to a sea where 30 fishermen is uh, there, even
Yeah,
when you get the biggest of the fish there, I would rather like to actually go to a place where there are no competition, build it and become the expert so that the market suddenly sees. So today what has happened is that you pick up all the big agencies, they started to focus on startup community. They've started to actually start to build on their own entity or unit to handle startup. So they also realize that they are missing some pie from this particular
yeah, yeah,
cake, and they are trying to actually now look at how to grab that particular pie. But
yeah.
what has happened is that you might be the king of this thing, but in terms of understanding this sector, in terms of
Exactly.
operating in this sector,
Yeah,
nobody has a close understanding as we have.
yeah. As you said that sometime it's very important to remember when you are entering into the market and to what niche you serve.
Correct.
Rightly said. So you have been lucky enough to identify a niche which was underserved,
Yeah.
and during the course of time you have built up a great rapport, and through networking and through recommendation, uh, you have gained vast experience in that area. So one last question, Kunal, as a fellow colleague and fellow Javerian, and also for the people from Jharkhand who are watching and other who want to start a firm of their own. To them, what would be your crisp suggestions that where they should focus, especially in a time in Corona where most of the people have lost job, and they would have some kind of skill as well as their passion. So a little bit on that would be very helpful.
Ranjit, today the opportunity is immense. I strongly feel that when you do not have jobs for yourself, then you become the job creator rather than job seeker.
Right.
And
Yes.
I I feel that with the entire advent of digital and otherwise, there's opportunity for everyone. I can tell you that we worked under one of our venture. We worked with somebody sitting in Orissa, creating content on Instagram and making a revenue of more than 100,000 Indian rupee for one single post. The idea is that you do not need to actually look at conventional approach of building business.
Great. Yeah.
But around you. Things have changed where uh, everything around you has a multiple ramification that you could go in for. So I strongly, as in when the pandemic had hit, and we had many industry events where we were participating and we were talking to people where they asked what advice will you give to students who are passing in this year because there won't be job placement for them. And many of us, many of the PR professional and senior industry experts, all of them, they actually advise the same thing, that you are a mass communication graduate. If you are a mass communication graduate, you have an opportunity of becoming a single person media shop where you could create content. You have opportunities like you, if you like traveling, you can start creating content around travel, and then once you start to get traction around it, Ranjit, what you are doing, man, as in I slowly you build traction around what you are currently doing is creating content, which is bringing in subject matter expert creating content. As you build
Yes.
the content around it, there can be monetization that can be built around that particular uh, uh, model as well. So I
Mhm.
strongly would recommend that if you
Yeah, but
currently
it has not come to my hindsight where, like when I started, that it can turn into something like this. But yes, definitely, the idea is to bring like a galaxy of people who are around us and who can be role models. So, role models, and especially uh, like when we started Knowledge City, it happened that we started as a small platform to cater to the need of college and university. But later we realized that there is a need for many people to at least connect to and network with people with multidisciplinary cross-boundary experiences, and that's how it happened. Yes.
So no, actually that's what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
today is the time when you actually don't have to wait. You have to actually, you just, whatever you're good at, you can start building on that. If you're
Exactly. Hmm.
actually, if you understand digital, you can actually start a small digital agency within your small town,
Mhm.
because everything is digital today. Imagine, I'm just giving you an example of
Yes.
a small town in Hazaribagh. I
Hmm.
think you have bus operators, you have uh, mm, other hawkers. You could actually start to give them an opportunity to promote their product online, through online platform, create a digital agency there, and build and slowly build around that. You, in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, digital is exploding right now.
Yes.
Everybody, as in my grandmother, has a phone who actually watches content on the phone. So imagine what is the penetration that we are talking about.
Yes.
With that, imagine the opportunity that is there. So I strongly feel that, one, we past the pandemic now. We have
Hmm.
the vaccine getting rolled out in the market. And 6 months down the line, I think economy will be fully open across geographies.
Yes.
This is the time when there will be a huge opportunity opening up for all of us. And I'm very, very optimistic that the year gone by, where uh, a lot of us might have suffered, people might have lost the job, but trust me, the economy is opening up. I'll just give you example of our industry itself. That within our industry, we were struggling, we were interacting with each other, and today we are seeing that we are actually trying to struggle for the talent. We are trying to hire people from each other, uh, at a higher salary appraisal, at a strong this thing growth opportunity. So that is a reflection. It's just a beginning of a scenario that we're looking at, and I'm very, very optimistic that 2 3 years down the line, GDP is also going to be good for India, as well as the economy is opening up. So it's both for entrepreneurship, it's a great time. For job seekers, it's a great time. And I would say that don't be a job seeker. Build a, if you are right now waiting to get a job, create something on your own and be a job creator.
Well said, Kunal. Very nicely said. With this, I think I would like to close the session. But before I close, I thank Kunal for being with us and enlightening us with his journey, and also talking much about the way the startups are built up, and also his entrepreneurial insights and the message that you gave. Yes, you don't be a job seeker. If you are in a position to do something, just start something. There are ways, and as the society is turning digital, more and more opportunities are pouring in. Thank you, Kunal.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranjit.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah.